Hey guys, I got an email from a Jesse. Jesse said, I just watched your video on YouTube about being skinny fat. I feel like I may fit in this category as I weigh about 150 pounds and I have a hard time putting on size. You cannot seem to burn off belly fat, especially around my lower abs. In spite of this, I've been lifting consistently for quite some time and am rather strong for my size. My training is usually a 4-day upper-lower split, but I am currently doing a 3-day full body program that will change to 4 days in the next few weeks and includes a lot of Olympic lifting. I normally don't do cardio because I've always followed the conventional advice that this will burn too many calories and will ultimately hurt my gains, which is the opposite of what I want. You mentioned in your video, however, that this is something people with this issue should be doing. Would you say that this is something that would fit my case? In terms of nutrition, I do have a harder time consuming the calories I should be taking in to be in a surplus, but I will always eat healthy, never fast food, no dessert, etc. And I eat at least 5 to 6 meals each day. Essentially, I was wondering if you have any basic recommendations that help me attain my goals faster, which are to have a lean and muscular physique. Thanks in advance. Look forward to hearing from you, Jesse. Jesse! All right, let's break this down. First thing I want to say is this. It's going to take time. I don't know how many years you've been lifting, but even if it's 2 or 3, this is going to take many more years. It's going to take a long time. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, hopefully. And you don't want to just be doing it for a few years to look good and then fizzle out. I've been doing this for a really long time. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, I've had my really muscular looks, I've had my skinnier looks, and all of it was awesome because I learned more about myself. I learned more about what my body's capable of, what my body doesn't respond to. I've had my issues with autoimmune disease and ulcerative colitis, and which eventually told me that I shouldn't be doing bodybuilding in the first place. You know, I've learned so much more about myself. I feel better about myself. I'm able to work better. I am able to do amazing physical things that I never thought I could do before, like muscle ups, because I learned about myself. So the biggest thing I want you to take from that gaggle of shit that I just spouted out my mouth is this is a journey. So don't feel bad about yourself if you're not getting immediate results. This is a quest. You've got to do some experimentation. You've got to understand how your body works and where you are at. All right. So neither me nor anybody else on this fucking gaggle of fucks called YouTube is going to give you the advice that's going to get you to where you need to be. The only way that you're going to be able to do that is by experimenting. So that being said, if you continue to follow the same thing and you avoid certain things because you're scared or out of fear that you're going to lose your muscle gains or anything like that, then you're kind of limiting yourself because you're limiting your amount of experimentation that you're doing with yourself. So let's think about your specific situation for a second. You're 150 pounds and you think you're skinny fat. Well, the first thing I want to say is this. Honestly assess whether or not you're skinny fat. You may not be skinny fat, you may be skinny fat. I don't know enough from this email. If you're at 150 pounds and you're like 5 feet tall and you're getting strong and you're strong for your size, then there's a chance that you're not skinny fat. You're just holding a little bit around lower abs, all right? But this goes down to the root cause of everything. Whether you're skinny fat or you're just holding a few extra pounds, if your body fat percentage is high, that means that there's probably something wrong with 2 things in your program. One, you're probably not moving enough. And so that thing you said about cardio, do I recommend at 150 pounds that you go out and run 7 miles a day? No, I do not. Do I recommend that you move every day and get your heart rate up as much as possible? Absolutely. Do I recommend that you never sit for longer than an hour without getting up and doing some air squats or friggin' some kettlebell swings or anything like that? Absolutely. I recommend the fuck out of that. Get up, move as much as possible, and that will help to level out your insulin response. When you eat, you'll keep your blood sugar nice and steady. And there's one thing that's universally accepted amongst fitness professionals, medical professionals, and that is that moving will lead to a longer, healthier life, and that it can help you to burn fat. That doesn't mean getting on a fucking elliptical machine and staying on there for 3 hours. 2, when we think about your diet, a big red flag was the 5 to 6 meals a day. What's in those meals? Are there tons of carbohydrates in each meal? Is there a buttload of protein? It could be that you were screwing with your insulin sensitivity that way. And I've always said that both protein and carbohydrates, they have similar insulin responses. You secrete insulin every time you eat protein. You secrete insulin every time you eat carbohydrates. And so that's why I am an advocate for at least trying the ketogenic diet. Does the ketogenic diet, is it the end all be all of diets? No. But keto has worked for me and a lot of my clients in creating higher levels of insulin sensitivity, allowing me to think better, feel better, and to reduce my autoimmune response. That's not to say that you absolutely have to try keto, but you might want to try playing around with some of your macronutrient ratios. If you're eating carbohydrates and protein at all of those 6 meals, maybe it's time to reduce those out. Maybe it's time to keep those down. Maybe it's time to get that concept of a caloric surplus out of your head. Because if you've been doing this for a while and it hasn't worked for you, then you might want to try something else. Maybe you need to be focusing on your micronutritional intake. Maybe you need, you're lacking some vitamins. Again, I don't know you, so I can't say absolutely 100% that that's you, but again, you need to do that self-assessment in order to figure out what is going to work for you. So my recommendation is to really look at your diet. And again, that doesn't mean that I'm saying go keto, but it means that if you are doing the same thing over and over again and it is not working for you, you need to start manipulating things. You need to start taking one thing at a time and manipulating it. You need to start recording what you're manipulating. You need to start understanding how your body works, and the only way you're going to understand that is if you experiment. Because I'm going to tell you something, there's nothing me or any of the other people here on YouTube can tell you that is going to pertain 100% to you, right? It means that you need to understand that that idea that you have about caloric surplus and caloric deficit, maybe it applies to you, maybe it doesn't. And I can tell you, and honestly, a lot of people are going to come down on me for this, but whatever, I can tell you that it definitely doesn't apply to everybody because of issues like insulin sensitivity, because of hormonal deficiencies, because of nutritional deficiencies, right? If you only look at it as far as calories go, then you're not getting the whole complete picture. And that's not to sell you my training, because I don't train anymore. I'm done with that. I run a fucking clothing company. If you want to buy a t-shirt, be my guest and buy a t-shirt, but I'm giving you this advice for free. So take your diet, experiment with it, play around with it, play around with one thing at a time. Don't change everything. Play around with one thing at a time to see what works and what doesn't. Move more. I can tell you that. That's one truth that I could go with. You move more, you will burn more fat because you'll be more insulin sensitive. If you move, and I'm not saying run all the time. I'm not saying get on a fucking elliptical. I'm saying move. Don't sit down for like 2 hours a day and fucking just do, on your butt playing video games. Fucking every 45 minutes, get up, do some kettlebell swings, do some air squats, get up and take a walk after you eat your meals. Don't lie down on the couch and fucking fall asleep, right? While you're doing your homework or you're doing your whatever you're doing at night, fucking take breaks, get up and move, and that will help you out a whole lot. Hope everybody out there is okay, and remember that your looks are not fucking everything. If you're getting stronger, that's fucking awesome. Most people can't get stronger, right? Fucking be proud of yourself. Be proud of the journey, right? None of this stuff is gonna happen tomorrow. Be proud of the journey. Enjoy the journey, because at the end of the journey, what's the end game? We're all gonna die, right? Don't be in a rush to get there. Fucking enjoy your time while you're here. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Peace.